We're joined now by North Central Sports Information Director Clark Teuscher to fill us in on everything going on in the Cardinal athletic world. Clark, we start with what has become a late fall tradition. 37 straight years now, men's cross country wins the CCIW title.
Yeah, that's one that's older than most of us. So you're going to have a tough time finding a program in any sport that's been that dominant over that period of a time within their own conference. The CCIW is an old school conference. It rarely changes members. Most of the schools are pretty similar. So when you have one program that's been able to distance itself from the rest of them that clearly over that period of time, and most of those wins have been, thoroughly dominant performances. So it really is a special thing to have something like that at North Central.
What's up next for them as they move on to the postseason?
Well, they've got a week off this week, and then they've got the regionals, which are on the same course at Augustana that they just ran on for conference, which is an advantage for them because they've seen it all and they know how it lays out and what they need to do there. They've got a couple of guys that are a little beat up right now, so they're going to try and get those guys healed up and set themselves up for a strong performance at Nationals again. And
Amanda Lesh and the women's squad, they cruised to their second one after just barely coming away with the title last year.
Yeah, Amanda had really no problems on Saturday. She won by almost a minute over the next competitor. They only won by 1 point last year. This year, won it going away. Moved them up a couple of spots in the national rankings this week. So, they're one of the teams that's probably going to be on the periphery of a national championship berth. But, if they run like they've done a conference in a couple of the previous meets, they should have a pretty good chance.
So it's kind of all about that, every team runner kind of firing on all cylinders once they get back to Rock Island?
Absolutely. From 1 through 5 and really 1 through 7, you've got to have a strong performance, and not having one of those people on board will really affect you in a meet of that size with teams of that caliber. So they certainly need everybody to be all in once they get to the regional.
And youth seems to be the theme here with some of these fall sports. Cardinal volleyball team finishes at 14-21, but you look at the roster, not very much turnover as we go into 2011.
Yeah, they only graduate one starter off of this year's team. A lot of the heavy hitters are coming back. What they need to do right now is just kind of figure out, who among those young players is going to be, situated to help them out as starters, and what holes they need to fill in either in their recruiting or in their development of some of the freshmen and sophomores. So a lot of decisions to be made by the coaching staff there, but they've got some good tools to work with.
And basketball just around the corner. Michelle Roof, the new women's coach over at North Central, and it looks like we're going to see kind of an up-tempo game. This team likes to get out and run.
Well, that's the style she used at Aurora, and she was able to improve that program quite a bit using that, recruiting some players with good athleticism and letting them get out and use that on the basketball court. Now, she's got a lot of players to run in and out. She's still kind of settling on a rotation, which is what those scrimmages are for. Once she gets that set and gets more of a regular rotation of 8 or 10 players that she can get in there and count on to produce for, we should be able to see some results.
And I know we kind of talk every other sport but football here usually, but this is a huge game on Saturday. How pumped up are you looking forward to this game between Wheaton and North Central?
A lot of attention on this game. It's certainly probably the most hyped up regular season game that I've seen since I've been here. So, combining the rivalry with Coach Thorne's potential accomplishment with breaking a record that's been standing for, again, that's one of the few things that's been around longer than he has. So certainly a lot to riding on this contest, and I think people that go out to that game are going to be pleased with what they see.
You got a prediction?
Heck no. No way. I'm out of that business.
All right. Well, Clark, thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
Well, we're out of time for this week's edition of the Red Zone. The battle for the Little Brass Bell kicks off at 1 p.m. And as always, you can catch a full recap of that game right back here next week on NCTV 17. For everyone involved with the program, I'm Alex Simmons. Go Cards.